Welcome back, my little recusants, to another episode of our Kingdom Hearts Final Mix 100% guide. We are continuing on with the 100 Acre Wood, and basically we're going to get the high score now with the Pooh swing. So the trick is that we need to basically complete it once to break Eeyore's house, and then we have to do it again just to get a high score, which is essentially pushing it later than Owl raises his wings so that we launch him further, basically. One of the only occasions where you actually have to like beat the mini game and then redo the mini game to like get the actual high score that will unlock cheer for Sora. And cheer on like an individual party member basis is just so strong that having two at this point in the game, like you get Donald slightly a bit later, but like just to have them earlier the better, to be honest. And yeah, like I'm just getting such a nostalgia wave looking back over all these different bits of gameplay. Like Winnie the Pooh is just so wholesome and just such a calming, relaxing part of, you know, Kingdom Hearts and Disney, and just that real nostalgia for just a peaceful time for Sora, just to not have to be contending with the apocalypse every other second. But as you can see, we got him up to 42 meters. That beats the high score requirement, so we can move on to our other mini games. And what's really cool is that if you actually go back to Winnie the Pooh's house, there are ways for you to check if you've gotten the high scores or not. There's one that's a more direct, you know, speaking with clue, and there's a more subtle audio cue. But if you actually heat up the campfire for Pooh to get warm, he will reward you with a mithril just to say thank you for all of the help, which is just hella wholesome. Now, if you knock or attack the pipe, or the chimney rather, and you go into Pooh's house, you end up getting another item. But you can see here a ring of honey pots. And basically if the honey is full, if the honey pot is full of honey, it means you've reached the high score requirement. So it goes like from far, you know, anti-clockwise. You can also chat to Owl and any of the different achievements, whether it's, you know, getting the honeybees, or getting the honey with Pooh, beating the carrots with, you know, Rabbit. Owl will mention those, and if he is mentioning them, that means you've got the high score equivalent. And obviously, if you're just following along with the videos, just get the score or around there that I did, and you'll be just fine. But here we have Tigger and Roo's bouncing ground. You can recall that when Tigger first arrived at Rabbit's house, he said his bouncing ground has disappeared. He's going to have to use Rabbit's farmland to bounce in. And now we've restored all the torn pages, we can bounce around. One of the few occasions where Owl is not able to give us a tutorial, because they're like, Owl, you fly, you don't even jump. Get out of here. And Owl is a humble king that he is, and he is like, listen, you can't be great at everything, that's okay. But like Sora, you know, can fly. So I think Sora too is a master of jumping with high jump as well as flight. So, you know, I think he's ready to take on this challenge. So just talk to Tigger and he will initiate basically a Simon Says minigame. So you just have to follow and do what Roo and Tigger do. So very, very straightforward first challenge. Just jump to each of the stumps and make it to the other side. Now this area hampers, during the jumping challenge, it hampers your high jump. So just be aware of that. You're not going to be able to high jump or glide. And again, it's forward, around a little triangle, and then forward again, back to the other one, and then, you know, onward. And you're under no time limit or duress, so just jump and attack to get that extra bit of distance. Turn your camera, don't be jumping blind. And so long as you can get to all the different trunks in the order that Tigger and Roo got to. Wildness. I don't know why I didn't adjust the camera. Don't do that. Turn your camera around. I was wild that I even made that jump. But it's literally just Simon Says. So we go here, you go here, and once you can copy the sequence, you're grand. This area, like, you know, Pooh had a couple of different items you could collect through interacting with the environment. Rabbit's garden had elixirs and items you could kind of pull out of the ground by getting the vegetables up. This area, well, really the only one that didn't have anything was kind of the swing area. That didn't really have any collectibles. But to make up for that, this area has tons of collectibles. There's lots of hidden treasure chests, there's lots of hidden collectibles called rare nuts, and Owl just wants you to get all those nuts and give them to him. So we're going to go on that rare nut collectathon now. But our first experience with these rare nuts, and this is one of the reasons where at the very beginning I was like, equip a longer keyblade, is specifically for this minigame. This minigame is tricky, but you basically have a nut that goes shooting out of the pot. You just have to lock on and hit it as high as an arc as you can. And the longer your keyblade, the easier that is. So once you can hit the nut at a really high height, you will break the pot in like under 5 seconds. And that's the mini game that Jiminy's journal is keeping track of, and the 100 Acre Wood is keeping track of for your cheer ability. So I did that very, very quickly, but any long keyblade, like the Pumpkin King, works. And that's one you're guaranteed to have by this point, but obviously there's other ones that are potentially longer, and so you can come back and try that later. But I kind of cut out the ones where I missed them. But what I'm doing now is, guys, I'm actually going to collect the rare nuts for Owl. And there's a little hidden dark matter here. Do not miss that. Very important. But basically, you have to collect them one at a time. But these rare nut rewards are absolutely fantastic. So power up for Sora. AP ups we got from like other things. I don't quite know what that is. I think it was maybe a clock tower reward. But yeah, I've just put it on ×2 speed, and basically, you know, just follow what my Sora does. So the second rare nut is here, and you have to find them one at a time and bring them back. Like, you can't actually collect any other nuts until you've given Owl the nut that you have. So glide over here, and in this little nook you have another one. You might have to like dodge roll or jump into them. Sometimes the hit collection isn't that great. And then you can always talk to Owl again, so you know if you've still more to get. Jump into the little hollow here, and you get a nice Shield 2 gummy block. We haven't even equipped shield blocks to our gummy ship yet, but they are mighty useful. So there's one little hidden nut there where we have to like use the stump to make the water rise up. And then if you just do a little jump or a dodge roll, or just walk into it, you can get the rare nut. And I remember for ages I was trying to like collect all 6 and hand them all in one after another. But you literally have to collect, speak to Owl, get your reward, and then collect the next one. So all in all, not too bad. If you're ever struggling, you can just put in first person mode, and that's how I found that other one there. That's just right behind us there. Collect that, and you'll get your final nut reward from Owl. With an orichalcum, and then he says, look at all these nuts. What am I going to do with them? You'll have to figure that out later. But as I say, new torn page, got a mithril. Also, didn't really mention with the Pooh Swing minigame, but like, oh my god, we got a stop upgrade. 8th amazing. You know, tier 2 magic nearly completed. And speaking of nearly completed, we have our final minigame to play. But as I say, if you run back and speak to Owl, but also look, we can check all these different pots, and going from right to left, they're all filled with honey. So that's how we know we've gotten the high score in all the other mini games. And if we can get the high score in our final mini game, which is basically a timed hide and go seek. But if you follow my method, we will get this easily done first try, because also the first time you do this, you have to like listen to them prattle on about how they were lost. Equip Thundarity or shortcuts. It's one of the rare occasions we're going to have to attack one of the 100 Acre Woods characters. But Pooh is basically following his own footprints because he thinks that all of his friends are now gone again. Poor Pooh's having PTSD. And then he's basically gone wandering around in circles, following his own footprints, and now he's lost all his friends. And now Sora's like, I'll help you find all your friends, don't worry. But this is basically a timed hide and go seek, and you have to basically lead Pooh around the place to find all of his friends. Now realistically, this is a bit of a misnomer. Pooh doesn't need to be there to find them. Sora just has to talk to them and gather them in this little center spot. But where Pooh does have to go is all the way up to like the top level of this area to speak to Piglet, because Piglet will not come out of his hiding place unless Pooh is brought there. And all I can say is certain parts of this I put on 2x speed, but basically lock onto Pooh, have him waddle around and bring Pooh to these little flowers here, and he'll get a little lift up. And we're going to leave Pooh there for now, because we're going to go and collect Rabbit by scaring him out of one rabbit hole and then speaking to him in another. So he'll kind of run in and out of those 3 different ones. We're going to use Thunder to basically shock Roo off his hiding place. So that's 2 of them got. And now the only way Sora is able to get up is if he jumps on this little gust of wind, which again takes time. You have to zap your honeycomb off the branch, and that'll let Pooh walk across that log. Stand at the end of the log, and you're going to be able to talk to Tigger. So Pooh's over the other side now. We now have to carefully cross this log, bring Pooh to the other flower patch. You'll see that Owl is like staying over in that little nook, so we have to just bring Pooh over. He'll then talk to Piglet. Piglet will then appear at the bottom of the area to talk to, and now all we have to do is wait in this little nook for Owl to fly by. Talk to Owl. He'll bring you back to the gathering point, and then you can speak to Piglet over by the little hole here, and that's the 100 Acre Wood done. Final cutscene there. You had to do it in under 5 minutes. We did it well under half the time, so you're going to be grand. But I'm not going to interrupt this cutscene, but we get an EXP ring. Amazing accessory. Talk to you afterwards.
I'm so glad we're all together again. I didn't know what to do when I was all alone.
Oh, Piglet, you gotta be brave.
You weren't lonely at all?
Lonely? Are you kidding? I'm a Tigger. The most wonderful thing about Tiggers is I'm the only one. But I do admit, friends are awfully fun too. Sink, sink, sink.
Hey, Pooh. What are you thinking about now?
Oh, well, I'm just thinking about what to think about.
Well, I'm off.
Sora, where are you going?
I'm gonna go look for my friends. They're waiting for me.
Won't sound back again.
I hope you find your friends.
He's just so adorable. And like the night sky is so pretty as well.
Sora, don't forget, We shall always be here. If you'd like to visit again, that is.
This next little bit always makes me cry. The cute little, like, music box music. It's just so... Oh, it just does something, guys. But that's the 100 Acre Wood completed. And we sealed the keyhole. Oh God. I'm not crying. You're crying. We get an achievement, Pooh's friends. We completed 100 Acre Wood. Yay. Let's hop back in and collect our lovely EXP ring first. Let's equip that. We can now give Donald a second magic boosting accessory. He wishes he was as good as us, but he's getting there. He's getting there. And we can equip back our spellbinder, get us into the double digits of magic again. God, Donald was only one behind us there. Ugh, cringe. But as we said, we're after getting all of the different mini games to their maximum. You know, we beat their allotted challenge. So we're able to go back to the 100 Acre Wood, and we're able to actually, you know, and you can double check here your minigame scores and what scores you got. But as I say, we've reached all the requirements. We can actually hop back into the 100 Acre Wood, speak to Owl in Pooh Bear's house, and we're able to get cheer for Sora. Only a 1 AP ability, so super useful. But when I say, you know, it can be tricky to get if you don't know where to look for it. You can 100% miss this ability, but it really does give such an unbelievable boost to your summons like Genie and Simba. And we're going now to Olympus Coliseum to do the other Coliseum challenges. So we went back here and we basically did the Blizzard challenge, where we didn't actually go on and do the Pegasus Cup. So we're going to actually do the Pegasus and the Hercules Cup back to back these next 2 episodes. So I put them on slightly faster speed as well, purely because since we've done Atlantica and I have so much MP, and realistically I need to go into Donald's settings and set him back to doing more offensive spells, because yes, him doing like Blizzard or Arrow and stuff and healing and stuff is great. For this, where we're clearly very over leveled, we just need Donald to be spamming Blizzards as well to do crowd control and take stuff out without me needing to use all my MP. But what you'll see as well is, and the reason why I did it in this order, is that we now have the XP ring to boost our EXP gains. So now we're doing these competitions and we're getting way more EXP. Well, now in the cases of these little guys, we're getting like 1 extra EXP, but you know what? 1 times a number is still that much more XP we don't need to get, you know? So,
Thunder!
Again, using Thunder, well, in this case, Thundara. Now, I was very silly. Gravity. Gravity magic destroys these guys instantly, and I just forgot that fact while I was filming. And so, especially when it comes to like the time trial and stuff, I use all these other outlandish like ways of beating them, and I just completely forgot about gravity. That's why Simba can one-hit them, because Simba's roar counts as gravity damage. And I even said that, I think, in like the earlier thing where I was grinding the mushrooms. But just because I'm so used to using Simba, I just never think to use gravity when fighting them. But yeah, the pot barrels and pot spiders, they're quick to do. And then just, as you say, 1 or 2 thunders sees us all done and dusted quite quickly. And I'm going to turn back to regular speed for the, you know, finale, the final boss, which is actually some familiar faces. One of whom we fought and one of whom we haven't. So, Leon and Yuffie are two Final Fantasy people. That's why you'll recall when I was saying about the Phil Cup, I was like, oh, there's actually no other... This is the every other contest has us fighting either, you know, Disney or other Final Fantasy characters. The Phil Cup is the only one that's a pure heartless fight. Because I'm sure you guys can guess who we might be fighting in the Hercules Cup. Just, you know, might be a hint in the name somewhere. But basically, focus down Yuffie, and, you know, in the case that, like, you might be a bit lower leveled, just make sure you give Sora, like, MP recovering items, just so he's able to, you know, use Kiora and, like, get Donald back up and use arrows. But yeah, Yuffie can heal herself, so you do not want to leave her idle for too long. Like, even if it's just the case that you're sending Yuffie in to do, like, one little hit, it just stops her from, you know, being able to do that cure, which she's now done twice, which is very annoying. But I'm convinced every time they cure, I feel like, does their HP, like, or does their, you know, defense stat drop or something whenever they heal. You can reflect those shurikens, and look, she's healed again. And I'm sure that's what they're saying when we use healing items and stuff, but like, oh my goodness, this is frustrating. But you can reflect back her shurikens to stun her. Oh, Donald, why did you use Wind Barrier when I'm after using Arrow? It's so frustrating when they double up on spells. But yeah, don't let her heal again, otherwise this will never stop. But that's also where you have to keep an eye on her, because I believe she can heal Leon. And that thunder getting Leon as well in the crossfire was just funny. But as you can see, we're after getting a bunch of extra experience, because we would have originally only gotten 300 experience, but now we're after getting 360. So, as I say, we're going to be doing time trials, and we're going to be doing challenges with these tournaments where it's Sora on his own, or Sora and Donald and Yuffie against a time limit. So definitely having items like elixirs or ethers just to be able to spam your magic, and, you know, magic like stop or magic like, you know, arrow and things, just so you can keep on the offensive as much as possible, is going to be how we're going to get through some of these tougher challenges in the Phil, Herc and Pegasus Cups before we move on to our final world. But once we finish this fight, that's going to be our episode, guys. So thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know what you thought of our strats in the comments. Hope you have a good one. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.